It was a crisp autumn afternoon in Indianapolis, Indiana, when Sophia Reynolds sat in the stuffy lawyer's office, the kind with leather chairs that creaked under the weight of secrets. The air smelled of old paper and faint regret as the attorney cleared his throat. Reading from her grandmother's will. Sophia had just turned 18. Her world already fraying at the edges after burying the only person who'd ever made her feel seen, Grandma Eleanor. The bequests rolled out like a bad hand in poker, the family home to her parents. Stock split between her siblings. Heirlooms to distant cousins. Then, the pause that changed everything. "To my beloved Sophia," the lawyer intoned. "I leave my emerald pendant and $8,500. With this note, rise above them. Dear one, your light will blind those who tried to snuff it out." The room went deathly quiet. Her brother, Tyler, the charming salesman who'd always been the family's golden ticket, top earner at his firm, flashing smiles that closed deals and hearts, snorted under his breath. Her sister, Brooke, the social media darling with a feed full of sponsored posts and filtered perfection, rolled her eyes like it was pocket change. Their father, Harold, muttered something about Eleanor always spoiling the pity project. Sophia's heart slammed against her ribs. "Pity project?" she echoed, her voice barely above a whisper. But it cut through the tension like a knife. Her mother, Lorraine, twisted her wedding ring, avoiding eye contact. "Tell her, Harold. She's an adult now." Harold sighed, staring at the floor. "You're adopted. Sophia. Your birth mom was Eleanor's aide. Died young. Left you behind. Eleanor guilted us into taking you. We had Tyler and Brooke already, didn't want more kids. But family duty. You know?" The words landed like punches, each one bruising deeper than the last. Adopted. Obligation. Not wanted. Sophia's mind reeled. Flashing back to years of being the shadow in their sunlit lives, the straight-A student whose report cards gathered dust while Tyler's sales awards shone on the shelf. Brooke's influencer gigs celebrated with family toasts. "We did right by you," Lorraine added defensively. "Same roof. Same schools. Same everything." But Sophia knew the lie in that. Love wasn't equal, it was rationed. And she'd always gotten scraps. And now, she asked, her voice cracking. Harold shrugged. "You're 18 soon. Time to stand on your own. We'll help with the basics. But distance might be best. Keep things smooth for the real family." Brooke nodded, checking her nails. "Yeah. No more awkward holidays." Tyler glanced at his phone. "Look, I've got a client meeting. This is heavy. But life's short." They left her there, the ink on the will still fresh. Her world shattered into irreparable pieces. That night, Sophia packed what little was hers into garbage bags. Her parents had already boxed up her room like she was a tenant overdue on rent. The locks clicked changed by morning. She drove west to Denver, Colorado, with $8,500 burning a hole in her pocket and the emerald pendant heavy around her neck. No tears fell. They'd dried up years ago in the drought of their indifference. Denver was raw and unforgiving, a city of peaks and valleys that mirrored her soul. She crashed in a dingy shared house off Colfax Avenue. Roommates who chain-smoked and argued over utilities. Her first job, barista at a chain coffee shop. $12 an hour slinging lattes to hungover hipsters while she devoured online courses in fintech on her cracked phone screen. Nights blurred into code and caffeine. Sophia taught herself blockchain basics, poring over free tutorials in libraries that smelled of mildew, her fingers flying across borrowed laptops. "Fake it till you make it," she whispered to herself, echoing the American dream she'd been denied. Her boss at the shop, a grizzled vet named Mike, barked orders and skimped on breaks. But she swallowed it, using downtime to sketch up ideas. Why trust banks when people betrayed you daily? Her concept, a secure personal finance app that used AI to detect fraud not just from hackers, but from manipulative insiders like spouses hiding debts or families siphoning inheritances. 6 months in, she entered a local startup pitch night on a whim, heart pounding in thrift store heels. That's where she met Dr. Marcus Hale, a professor turned investor, dissecting fintech trends on stage like a surgeon. During open mic, Sophia stood, voice steady despite the knots in her gut. What if your app learned your habits so well it flagged betrayal before it bankrupted you? The room hushed. Marcus eyed her worn blazer, the fire in her eyes. Stick around after. We got talking to do. He became her guidepost, the father figure she'd craved, pushing her into accelerators where her raw ideas won seed grants, $1,000 here, $2,500 there. Enough to ditch the coffee gig for freelance coding. Ramen dinners turning into protein bars as she built her prototype in a co-working space that reeked of ambition and stale pizza. The app, Vaultguard, crystallized at 4 a.m. during a storm that rattled her windows. It wasn't just passwords, it analyzed spending patterns, flagged anomalies like sudden transfers to unknown accounts, born from her own scars of unseen rejection. 2 years after fleeing Indianapolis, she pitched to venture capitalist Elena Voss in a Denver high-rise, nerves masked by a $50 suit from a discount rack. This could upend personal finance, Elena said, tapping her pen. But you're green. Risky. Sophia leaned in. Risk built this country. Give me a shot. Or watch someone else cash in. Elena wrote the check, $750,000. Sophia didn't celebrate, she worked harder. The ghost of her family's dismissal fueling every line of code. Vaultguard launched quietly, but word spread like wildfire in dry grass. Early adopters raved about catching ex-partners' secret debts, preventing family fraud. The first big client, a mid-tier bank testing AI fraud detection. Sophia's team, 3 bootstrapped devs sharing her hunger, pulled all-nighters, crashing servers and rebuilding stronger. When the CTO called it game-changing, the contract rolled in, $2.5 million. Tears came then. Alone in her tiny apartment. But she wiped them away. Vulnerability was a luxury she couldn't afford. Media caught wind. Millennial mogul reinvents finance from scratch. Sophia loathed the spotlight, the glossed-over narratives. But Marcus taught her to wield it. Turn their curiosity into capital. Inc. Magazine's 30 Under 30 at 24. Wired's Disruptor of the Year at 25. Each nod brought investors flocking, her valuation climbing to $300 million by year 5. She bought a modest condo in Boulder, then expanded to San Francisco, ground zero for tech empires. Government gigs followed, IRS pilots for tax fraud detection, FBI consultations on financial espionage. The big one? A $35 million DoD contract for insider threat monitoring in military budgets. Rooms full of suits dismissed her at first, assuming she fetched coffee. She proved them wrong with demos that exposed simulated leaks, her voice never wavering. Yet success echoed hollow in quiet moments. The Reynolds had vanished from her life, but their silence screamed. Social media showed their curated bliss, Tyler's luxury car posts, Brooke's influencer collabs, family vacations where she was airbrushed out. Blood is thicker than water, one caption read. Twisting the knife. Sophia didn't stalk. Glimpses found her. Reminders of the hole they carved. Then, fate's cruel joke, a rainy Sunday in her San Francisco penthouse. Acquisition docs spread out. When security cams pinged, the faces, Harold, Lorraine, Tyler, Brooke, and 2 kids, grandkids she'd never met. 17 years of nothing. Now at her gate like beggars in the storm. She buzzed them in. Composure a mask over the rage simmering beneath. They filed into her minimalist living room, eyes wide at the abstract sculptures and bay views. Sophia, Lorraine started, voice trembling. We read about you in Forbes. Harold nodded. You've made it big. Sophia sat across. A chasm between them. Why are you here? The confession spilled. Harold's firm tanked in the recession. Fraud suits piling up. Tyler fired for embezzling client funds. Wife gone with custody battles. Brooke's brand imploded after a scam endorsement. Husband fleeing with their savings. We're family, Harold pleaded. Help us rebuild. Jobs at your company. Navy seed money $2 million to start over. The audacity ignited something primal. Family? The word tasted like bile. You discarded me like yesterday's news, she said evenly. Changed locks while I grieved Grandma. Told me I was a burden discharged. The kids fidgeted, the adults squirmed. We were wrong, Brooke whispered. Desperate times. Sophia stood. I'll think on it. My team will reach out. She watched them drive away. Humiliation etched on their faces. And called her execs. Dig deep. Backgrounds. Everything. Reports confirmed the rot. Harold's shady deals. Tyler's theft. Brooke's complicity in fraud. Toxic. Through and through. Friday's meeting at Vault Guard HQ was theater. She made them wait in the lobby, surrounded by awards bearing her name. In the glass-walled boardroom, she laid it bare, slides of their scandals. Family photos excluding her. Social posts erasing her existence. You want in? Prove you're not a liability. Tyler blustered. Brooke cried. Harold begged. Sophia's offer, $15,000 each. One time. For NDAs silencing any claim to her. Take it. Or walk. They signed. Defeated. The weight of their choices crushing them. But the finale came at the IPO presser in Moscone Center. Packed with sharks and scribes. Sophia took the stage. Screens flashing her origin story, the Indianapolis house. Grandma's photo. The abandonment. Vault Guard hits $1.5 billion valuation today, she announced to Cheers. But more, the Eleanor Fund. $25 million for estranged youth. Foster grads tuition. Mentorship. A shot at rebuilding. She locked eyes on the Reynolds in the crowd, outing their betrayal without names. Letting the internet connect dots. Being thrown away freed me to soar. Now, others get that freedom. Applause thundered as they fled. Scandals resurfacing online, reporters at their door. Jobs lost. Friends vanishing. Sophia felt no joy. Just closure's cold embrace. A call came later, Tyler's daughter. 14. Voice small. Aunt Sophia? You're inspiring. Dad says girls can't tech. But I want to try. Sophia sent a laptop. Camp enrollment. Not for blood. But for breaking cycles. In her office that night. Emerald pendant gleaming. She toasted the city to the rejected. Rising from ashes. Proving worth isn't given, it's forged in fire's unforgiving heat. The Reynolds faded into irrelevance. Their punishment not destruction. But witnessing the empire they could have shared. Now forever out of reach.